Flame Supreme, Bloodstained Demon World. Chapter 1, The Flame of Demonism Emerges. The sky was cloudy, and the moonlight streaked across the sky like ghostly claws. Alice Moonshadow, once an ordinary Earth girl, was brought to this world full of otherworldly magic and monsters by a mysterious force after a reversal of fate in a car accident. At first, she is at a loss like all traversers, but soon, she finds that instead of being destroyed, she finds that the world is full of unknown attractions for her. Her body became so powerful in acuity that she could even feel the energy of the world flowing through her. The sight in front of her made her heart beat faster. This was the demon realm, full of evil and chaos, and under the sky, a layer of dark clouds was shrouded in the sky. The ground is a shattered magic circle, a ruined city, and a village destroyed by the disaster, showing the past glory of this land and the desolation of the present. Alice realizes that she has arrived in the darkest corner of this world, and that her appearance does not seem to be accidental. She was endowed with a great power, the power of demonic flames. Far from weakening her spirit, this force strengthened her desire for war and destruction. Her pupils began to flicker with red flames, demonic energy from the abyss, a mixture of powerful magic and strange power. She felt her strength grow rapidly, and the vision in front of her gradually became clear. The wells of magic in this world are calling to her. Only by mastering the well of magic can we completely control this world. Alice whispered. She reached out and grasped a piece of shiny magic crystal, feeling a powerful force burst out of the crystal. The power of the demonic flame gradually soaked into her body, causing her blood to burn. She knew that this was the beginning of her destiny. Chapter 2, The Demon Legion. Alice's goal is clear, the well of magic, a land of infinite energy that will allow her to reach an unparalleled level of power, and even put the entire demon realm under her control. To accomplish this, she summoned her first army, the Dark Demon Legion. In the moonlight, Alice raised her wand in her hand, and the spell roared like thunder, shaking the air around her into chaos. The magic circle spread out beneath her feet, and there seemed to be countless wails of unjust souls in the air, and with her will, a huge demon army with a dark aura took shape. Among them, the leader of the Hellfire Legion, the Demon King Yoon's named Flame of Void. His eyes are as hot as lava, and his eyes are full of longing for destruction and purgatory. His appearance intensified the dark aura around him, making the power of the demonic flame seem to have received some kind of guidance. We have only one goal, to wash everything in blood and seize the well of magic. Eunice's deep voice was full of power, resounding all around, with an infinite murderous aura. Alice smiled coldly, nodded indifferently, and then turned and ran towards the well of magic in the distance. Chapter 3, The Dragon Knight's Challenge. On the way forward between Alice and the demon army, she meets the first challenger, the Dragon Knight Carlos. This former hero, with dragons as allies, has great combat power and invincible dragon riding abilities, and his appearance means that he will pose a threat to Alice and her legion. Carlos descended on a flaming dragon, and the air around him burned, as if everything was preparing for the battle that was about to break out. His great sword shimmered with holy light, and his gaze was determined and alert to Alice. What you do will bring destruction to this world. Carlos shouted angrily and swung his sword at Alice. However, Alice is not afraid. She turned around slowly, stretched out her hand and pointed into the air, and the demonic flames instantly condensed into a fierce fire dragon. The flaming dragon hovered in the air, turning into a dazzling pillar of light and slamming into Carlos and his dragon. Carlos roared, sending the dragon's power to slam into the flames. However, Alice's demonic flame power was greater than any power he had ever faced. The flame dragon instantly devoured Carlos' dragoon, and the dragon let out a terrible scream and was burned to ashes. You! How can you be so strong? Carlos turned pale and felt powerless. Alice indifferently stepped forward and ended Carlos' life with a sword. Without hesitation, she poured the brave man's blood into her wand to strengthen herself. This is just the beginning, she said coldly. Chapter 4, The Legendary Mage's Challenge. Just when Alice thought she was finally able to walk the demon world with impunity, another force reappeared. This time, the challenger is the legendary mage Madama, known as the Lord of the Law of Time. Madama is one of the top mages in the demon realm, possessing the ability to control the flow of time, distorting space and time, and even resurrecting the dead. Madama's presence prevents the power of the flame from being used as usual, and Alice's attack is bound by time magic, unable to inflict any tangible damage on her. Madama's gaze was cold and deep, and she whispered, "You're just a kid after all, and you haven't fully understood true magic." She swung her staff, the speed of time shifting rapidly around Alice, who felt as if she was imprisoned in an infinite loop. Alice, however, was not alarmed. Her power of magic can not only destroy the laws of the physical world, but also the texture of time. She took a deep breath, condensed her demonic flame to the extreme, and slapped her palm towards Madama's time enchantment. With an earth-shattering explosion, Madama's time magic was shattered, and her body was torn into countless pieces, turning into countless points of light. "You're underestimating me, mage." Alice sneered and whispered. Chapter 5, The Bloodstained Demon Realm. After defeating Carlos and Madama, Alice managed to master the power of the demon flame and led the demon legion to the well of magic. Her gaze was as hot as a flame, with the determination to destroy everything. As she stood in front of the door of the well of magic, sword in her hand, surrounded by demonic armies. Her smile was cold, and she stared at the bottomless well. Today, I will redefine the order of this world and bring all living beings to my knees. She said softly, and with a swing of her sword, the demonic flames instantly engulfed the entire demon realm. Chapter 6, The Rebirth of the Demon Realm. As Alice's sword light pierced the sky, the demonic flames instantly engulfed the entire well of magical power. At that moment, the aura of the demonic flame spread like a torrent of flames, flooding the surrounding land. The sky of the demon realm shook, and the line between darkness and light became blurred. Her power has reached an unprecedented peak, and the entire demon realm seems to be reshaped by her existence, and the flow of power begins to reshape the fate of this land. However, this power is not invincible. As the flames spread, Alice gradually felt a subtle backlash. In the depths of the demon realm, an ancient power that had been sealed away for a long time began to awaken, a power forgotten by the god of time and fate, and an existence that once ruled the entire demon realm. Her heart beat slightly faster, and she turned to look at the black palace looming in the distance. The palace exudes an air that is both mysterious and terrifying, as if some unspeakable secret is hidden. Alice frowned slightly, vaguely feeling in her heart that this power was intertwined with the power of her demonic flames, and it would bring even more terrible consequences. Isn't it? Is this a trick of fate? She whispered to herself. Chapter 7, The Temptation of Darkness. Alice walked towards the Black Palace, every step with unwavering determination. However, as she got closer, the air around her grew heavier. The palace seemed to call her, as if to draw her deeper into it. Entering the halls of the palace, Alice is surprised to find that it is not as old and dilapidated as she imagined. On the contrary, the interior of the palace is filled with a mysterious atmosphere of light and shadow, the walls are carved with ancient runes, and the huge altar in the center actually exudes a powerful attraction. That's the root of the demon realm. A hint of unease flashed in Alice's eyes. In the center of the altar, a pitch-black crystal ball floats silently, and the black liquid inside the ball rolls as if it were alive. Alice sensed that there was endless power hidden in the crystal ball, but it was not pure. It is full of corruption and shadows, with infinite temptations, as if it can make people completely lost. She took a deep breath and reached out to touch the crystal ball. At that moment, a flash of fear and surprise flashed in Alice's eyes. Instead of the power of the demon flame, she saw countless dark faces, like countless giant mouths, devouring her heart. You're finally here. A deep voice came from all directions, as if it was a call from the abyss. Alice was startled, quickly retreated, drew her flame sword, and looked around in alarm. A figure slowly stepped out of the shadows, dressed in a black robe, his face blurred, except for the pair of red eyes that shone like candlelight. His voice was indifferent and threatening with irrefutable indifference. I am the Forgotten Demon King, Shadow. The seal was not for me, but for the protection of the world. Now, you have broken the seal, and the power of the demon flame will be intertwined with me, and I will lead the demon realm to be reborn. When Alice heard the name, she was shocked. Shadow, this name is extremely mysterious in the legends of the demon realm, even older and more terrifying than any demon. She didn't expect that one of her adventures would lead to such an existence. So, are you going to be my enemy, or are you going to cooperate with me? Alice asked coldly. Shadow's laughter echoed in the hall, the dark aura of his body became more and more intense, and his eyes revealed a kind of disdain. Cooperation? Can you, this little power of demonic flame, be my enemy? If you are willing to cooperate with me, you may still be able to keep a glimmer of destiny to choose from, but if you refuse, I'm going to wipe out this world completely. Alice's heart raced, the power of her demonic flame stirring through her body, and it was clear that this duel could not be avoided. If so, I won't back down. A determined glint flashed in Alice's eyes. She gripped the sword of demonic flame and fearlessly challenged Shadow. Chapter 8, The Ultimate Battle. Shadow sneered, and quickly waved the dark magic in his hand, and the black vortex instantly tore through the space, almost shaking the structure of the entire hall. Alice was instantly swallowed into an endless darkness, and she felt as if she was in an abyss. Everything around her became extremely distorted. But Alice didn't back down. The power of her demonic flame continued to condense in her body, intertwining the darkness with the demonic flame to form a powerful explosive force. Come on, Shadow! Alice shouted, and the sword of demonic flame slammed forward, and the flames instantly sliced through the darkness. Shadow's figure was engulfed in flames, but he didn't disappear completely. He reappeared, this time with a mysterious black gem in his hand, and the gem exuded a suffocating evil aura. You don't understand. Shadow said coldly, this is the final flame of the world, and when you touch this gem, the demon world will always belong to me. Alice's eyes widened, looking at the gem in Shadow's hand, and suddenly felt a dangerous aura, and a terrible thought passed through her heart. If this gem was activated, then the power of the demonic flame would no longer be able to restrain this demonic realm, and even cause devastating consequences. No. Alice exerts her strength again, pushing her flame power to the limit, and she must break Shadow's control. In the end, with an earth-shattering roar, the power of demonic flames and darkness erupted in the palace, and the entire hall collapsed with the shaking, and the duel between Alice and Shadow also entered the final stage. Chapter 9, Prologue to a New World. In a terrible explosion, the collapse of the palace destroyed everything. When the dust cleared, Alice stood in the ruins, her eyes burning with fire never before. She took a deep breath and felt a tremendous force gushing out of her body, a true power from the depths of the demon realm. This world will belong to me, she whispered, her figure fading into the flames. In the distance, from the shattered earth, Shadow's red eyes opened again, and the deep light was filled with endless treachery and gloom.